everybody, welcome back to Captain Jasper. Today I thought we'd talk about good versus bad rabbit cages. There are so many different models of rabbit cage on the market and so many different opinions on what makes a good or a bad one. So I thought I'd give you mine. If you want to know more about the science behind why some cages are unsuitable, then definitely check out my last video. I'll leave a little link up here. So definitely check that out if you're interested to know why exactly some hutches are unsuitable. I thought I'd go from worst to best. But remember, this is all just my opinion, so feel free to disagree with me. And rabbit care is constantly changing. In the last 13 years since I've kept rabbits, it's changed dramatically. The first rabbit I ever had was in a hutch run combo, which I personally don't agree with anymore, but before I knew any better, that's what I kept my rabbits in. So don't always go in too hard on people that keep their rabbits in what you think is unsuitable enclosures. Maybe just have a discussion with them on DMs or something like that. And more often than not, they are willing to change and they have no idea that it's classed as cruel to keep your rabbit in, small enclosures. So just keep that in mind. Before we continue, don't forget to hit that like and subscribe button, and I just want to say a big thank you for 700 subscribers. Okay, so first up we have small plastic cages. These are probably my least favourite cage, as it is such little space. I have seen ones that are kind of bigger, but generally they don't give your rabbit a lot of height. They're on one level and pretty tiny in most cases. I think these are just pretty cruel to keep your rabbit in. Often they don't even give them enough space to fully stand up, and rabbits like to stand up on their hind legs and kind of scour their environment. It's a natural behaviour and one that makes them feel safe. But my biggest issue with these cages is the size, as you just can't give your rabbit enough size. Most of them are like, a metre by a metre, if that. But personally I think these are really cruel and they definitely should not be used for rabbits. Next up we have a wooden hutch with no run attached. So I personally don't think that these hutches give rabbits enough space either. They are usually made of quite cheap wood that rots quite quickly, so you're not going to be able to keep them for very long, and they're very expensive for what you get. Usually these are actually under the minimum requirements of space that a rabbit needs, and most pet shops will promote these, or the plastic cages like I just said, as a starter environment for your rabbit. I just think it's not right. I think these can be used within enclosures to add as like a hide or something like that into their enclosure, but just as their main space, I don't think this is enough. They also can be quite dangerous if you just put these onto grass. Your rabbit is quite easily able to burrow out if it doesn't have any wire bottom or doesn't have like a proper bottom to it. But it also means that predators can easily dig in. And as I said, the wood easily rots, which would make it even more easier for a predator to get in. Often the wire on these cages is not predator proof either. It's enough gauge to make sure that the rabbit can't get out, but if a fox or depending on where you live, like a coyote or something, was to try and attempt to get into a hutch, then it would it wouldn't stand a chance against them, and nor would your poor bunnies. So I think these are definitely not suitable as the only enclosure. And then you get your hutches with your run attached to them, which are a tiny bit better, but then again I still feel like this isn't enough space, and you can fall prey to the same issues as with the smaller hutches without the run, so with the wood and the wire just not being strong enough. And also, if you don't have that wire bottom and you put it onto grass, then you have the added probability of your rabbit burrowing out or a predator getting in. If you are going to be getting a hutch run combo, then I just urge you to make sure that it's enough space. I'll put the requirements that the RSPCA and England requires for a rabbit to have. I think in different countries it's different, but I think the more space the better. That was Fred just crying in the background, if anyone heard that. Hello Freddy. He's like asleep crying right now. You okay? Whoa, 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 whoa. Sleepy. Baby bubby. Oh no, did something nice. If you do end up going for the hutch run combo, then just please ensure that it's the right amount of space required for a rabbit. Each country has their own requirements for what they kind of consider appropriate for a rabbit to be in, but I think England is 3 by 2 by 1 metres for one rabbit. I think the bigger the better. And most of the hutches, even with the run attached to them, don't actually meet the requirements, so just be careful of that when you're buying. And lots of them are very expensive for what you get. So now let's get into some good enclosures. Puppy pens or NIC grids work great for inside enclosures. This is actually what I used to use for the boys before they became fully free roam. And they are so cheap. You are going to be spending a lot less on keeping your rabbit inside with a puppy pen than if you were to buy a hutch outside. And you're going to be giving them so much more space as well. You do need to ensure though that you fully enrich the environment to make sure that your bunny feels secure, so add hides and stuff like that. But for space and safety, I think they're great. Especially, well, obviously for only inside. I wouldn't keep my rabbit outside in a puppy pen, but yeah, they are great inside enclosures. For a more suitable outside enclosure, I would go for like a shed or an aviary, or even a really large rabbit hutch with an attached run onto it. I'm going to leave a little slideshow of pictures of which ones I think are appropriate. But I've also put a link to my Pinterest in the description in case you want to check out my ideas for some good inside and outside hutches on there. And then last but not least is free roam, which I appreciate not everyone can do safely. I used to not be able to do it safely, especially when we had our Rottweiler Alfie here and he wasn't trained with the bunnies. When he did become trained, it made it a lot more easier for me to free roam them, but I still have to supervise them with Fred. I don't let them in the same room by themselves together unless I am there. I think free roaming is a great way for your rabbits and you to bond and them to really, make the full use out of their environment. But I do appreciate that it's not for everybody. And it's taken me quite a few years to be able to get to the point where I can comfortably free roam my boys with obviously other animals in the house and garden. So whether it be that you let them free roam a room or you let them free roam a whole house, it's up to you completely. But I think this is a great way, and it's so cheap to do, obviously, because all you need to buy is their toys. I hope you guys like this video, and let me know in the comments what you think of different rabbit enclosures.